And the Watford reorganisation, much as expected. Jackett's certainly been told to go forward into midfield. Rostron. Harry Curran is the substitute for Everton. Kevin Sheedy the player to go off, and clearly Howard Kendall's made that substitution with Tuesday's home game in the Cup Winners' Cup against University College Dublin in mind. And fortunately for him, it's an outfield frontman for an outfield frontman. Presumably means that Graham Sharp will go wide. We shall see. Here's Terry. And again. Now Barnes. Well, it was aimed for Johnston. Reed. Curran. First constructive touch. Bracewell. Bailey. Now Callahan. Can he do something with this? And that was a bit nasty. And Callahan is wanted by the referee. Peter Reid got up looking very upset indeed, and that will be Nigel Callahan's name in the referee's book. Now whether it in fact was as bad as it looks, close quarters, but the referee feels a caution is justified. So here's the Everton free kick. Oh, they got in each other's way again. And Coton diving. And he really was so keen to keep a clean sheet on his first appearance in front of his home fans, Tony Coton. But sadly, hasn't been anything like that at all. Reed. Now he's lost out. Riley. And he was bound for Johnston, and he had a bit of luck to get it there. Callahan. Johnston, Riley and Barnes going forward. Here's Bardsley. And they win the free kick. And presumably we'll see John Barnes float one. And we're still talking at Vicarage Road this afternoon about the marvellous free kick goal he scored in midweek. Callahan got in, and it's there, and it will probably go down as an own goal, I think, by Derek Mountfield. Bo Johnston went in with him, Steve Terry up there too, but it's 3-2, and is there hope yet for Watford? From the set piece, Barnes free kick, just like the first one, which came from a Callahan cross. So many of Watford's goals seem to come that way these days. Here's Terry. Free kick, and it's given Watford's way. Sinnott will no doubt put one long with his left foot. Riley got up. Here's Barnes. Now Riley. Johnston. Jacket behind him. It's square. Dave Bardsley against trying to stop it going into touch. He's won the throw. Callahan. And again. And the corner is given. And Ratcliffe not at all pleased by the decision. And again we see Terry on the goal line, but Southall called well. They did very well. Terry up. Callahan. Johnston on for Riley. Second half starts in many ways very much like the first. Johnston, will he tee himself up for one? And what one asks will happen if Watford do get another. And win themselves another free kick. Johnston. Now Bailey. Callahan's efforts in vain. Well, that's a goal kick. Graham Taylor writing in his match programme today, in the match programme column. About the psychological problem. Another goal now and it could make it all so different. Here's Barnes. Stevens. Artley chases against Stephen, who wins it. Now they've got to come back in numbers. Stephen. Good save by the goalkeeper. Bracewell, Stephen, Bracewell outside him, here's Graham Sharp, now Bracewell again, Sharp is down the line, nice neat build up, Stephen, Stevens, Curran in acres of space outside him, and now here he is, and will he take on Rostron? He will, and will he get round him? No, he won't. Yes, perhaps he might, but I think it's a free kick. Yes, indeed. Reed and Curran, the players over it. It's really a question of Watford trying hard to keep their nerve, trying to make sure that they do the things right that they have to do. And that most certainly includes clearing the ball at the earliest opportunity. No fancy stuff in their own 6-yard box, and Barnes has failed to clear, and Matfield has made him pay. Just the very point I was illustrating. And so Matfield equals his own books. He put one through his own goal, and now he's put one past Cope. And I'm afraid for the Watford defence, this is rapidly becoming the sort of afternoon where you say to the crowds, do you like horror films? And if so, they should stick a parental guidance against Vicarage Road for any budding young defenders. But everybody, I suppose, has their off days. Houghton has had to come. Stevens. Heath. Been everywhere. Curran. It was Stephen who tried to get in, but Bardsley's tackle. Was he covered? Terry. Barnes, clearance. Very much to the priority. It gives the forces time to regroup. Curran. Stephen. Aim for Graham Sharp. They might do something here with Bracewell. Heath. And now he's given it to Les Taylor, who's promptly given it back. Here's Curran. Coton will have to come. The clearance just did enough. Here's Mountfield up again. And a good diving save. The end by Coton from Heath. More signs again of this nervous disposition that seems to have afflicted the Watford defence. Really, one more would make it quite impossible, because Watford now have to do what Everton did in the corresponding fixture last season here, and that's come back from 2 goals down. Jacket. Taylor. Obstruction by Bracewell. There's the referee. Sinnott. Can he make it? No, he can't. And he has won himself a free kick. An indirect one. Again, a clear signal from the referee. Players understand it. Has to say it, but it helped to make it a thoroughly entertaining game to watch. Unless you happen to be the manager of Watford. I suppose even he'll enjoy it. Rostron. Jacket. Keeper Johnston. And a free kick given the other way this time. Referee again well placed. So again, the players back en masse. Here's Stevens' throw. Might get a second chance to put the cross in, and does. Terry away, and he stuck his foot out and it was enough. It wasn't a decisive clearance. Unfortunately, there's nobody to take advantage of it. Here's Bracewell. Bailey. Callahan interception. Bracewell again. Stephen, the player inside him. Bracewell. Heath. Bracewell. Long one forward for Curran. Rostron sticking close to him and does well. Johnston on for Riley to chase. And that's going all the way back to give Neville Southall some exercise. Riley. But Chris Johnston not quite able to turn. Curran. And Matfield always getting the better of Riley. And that's an Everton free kick. Saying about the referee, he really handled it very well. Apart from one tackle by Nigel Callaghan, which I don't think was malicious. I mean, nothing dirty at all from either side, just that one booking. Thoroughly sporting contest and thoroughly good to watch as well. Bailey. We move into the last quarter. Here's Sharp. Ratcliffe, Reid. The Everton centre-backs quite prepared to go forward, just like their Watford counterparts. Here's Curran, twisting and turning. And Sinnott, some relief, sees Coton gather the ball. Riley. Now Curran, mustn't give him the space to shoot. Peter Reid, Adrian Heath arriving in the middle, Graham Sharp far side. Here's Bracewell, Heath. Well read by Steve Terry. Now Taylor. Callaghan far side, Barnes, Riley, Johnston also going forward. He just didn't quite reach Riley. Barnes. Oh, he's done well. Now can he get some sort of cross in? He can, and Callaghan! That is a lovely goal because it was superbly worked. Barnes down the left, and Callaghan did so well. And you have to cast your memory back for a goal like that to Watford's match at Southampton in their very first season in the First Division. Under the floodlights, Barnes did exactly that, and Callaghan was the man who finished it off. And so they have 20 minutes and they're only one goal adrift. It's their time for this to take another turn. Here's Barnes. He's going all the way. Johnston and Barnes in each other's way. Can Barnes finish it? And Stevens does well. Well, that would have been 2 in 40 seconds. And while all that is going on, Radcliffe has spoken out of turn to the referee, and he's going to be booked for it. Well, it really has turned into quite an astonishing game. 4 goals in the first half, another 3 now, and we still have the best part of 20 minutes on the watch to play. It's well caught by the goalkeeper. I have to say that Barnes and Blissett, one in each half, have had excellent chances to make it more for Watford, and Graham Sharp's got past Rostron and past Coton. And oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, it's 2 again they've got to find. Another certificate goal from a Watford defensive point of view. But now we've got 8 goals just as we had last year. Except this time, instead of the last 2 coming in stoppage time, we've still got 18 minutes for the plot to unfold. Barnes. Looks for Johnston, but it went out. And that means, with still 17 minutes left, the Vicarage Road faithful have been treated to 21 goals in 3 matches. Where else in the Football League would you find that? Rostron losing out his Curran. He will try and go forward and find Heath. Bardsley will let that one go back. I don't think Tony Coton can quite honestly believe it. He's let in 5, and I wouldn't want to blame him for any of them. Bardsley, forward again. Now Barnes with a free kick. First one of these in the half produced an own goal. This time it's Bartfield's clearance. But Barnes is at it again. Barnes against Stephen, he's done well. Can Terry do something? No, just over his head. Really, Barnes, for my money, in the last couple of games, really showing something close to his best form. Here's Peter Reid. Curran. Didn't have that good a start to the season, Barnes, but really now beginning to settle down and play some good football. Taylor. Bardsley is forward. Here's Barnes again. And he goes forward. He starts to really, as it were, become the leader of the orchestra. Bardsley. There's Taylor square. On for Riley. There'll be something on here if he can get across him. Johnston arriving edge of the 18-yard box. Callahan. Now, can he do something? It's too close to the keeper. As we move into the last quarter of an hour, the match that so far has had everything. 8 goals, much of it excellent to watch for the spectator, but enough to make the managers feel like drawing their old age pensions. Johnston. Rostron, Jacket, and back again from Rostron. Johnston, Jacket, and a marvellous save. Oh, that's a great save by Southall. Jacket last scored from, in fact, into that very goal. last first team goal was against Brighton in the FA Cup. And Southall is really not at all happy with what's going on in front of him. Now Riley. It's another corner and another chance. Plus, I think underline where the problems have been. You look at the number of chances Watford have created. You really shouldn't have to score 6 to win at home. Here's Jacket. That is less, of course, they should have the misfortune to concede another. Taylor, now Jacket. Barnes. Nice. Very nice. Again, the nice approach, but just not quite the finish to match it. And the England striker. Here goes Curran. Well, he's got past 2 of them, but Rostron does it at the second attempt. Callahan and Bailey. Now Callahan again. Johnston in a better position. If he'd have fed it inside, he goes down, but the referee totally disinterested. And it's a foul by Sinnott. Who one has to remember is even younger than David Bardsley. Heath. Bracewell. Stephen. Bracewell who put it in, and Graham Sharp clearly used his elbow to knock Steve Terry to the ground. Referee says play on because I don't think he saw it. Terry again. Because I think Mike James, the referee, has had an absolutely outstanding match. Come down on the things he had to, but tried to let things go. And as I said earlier, apart from possibly that one challenge by Callahan, hasn't been a malicious tackle from anybody at all. 9 goals, goal-mouth thrills, stacks of action. And even if the Watford faithful still look for their first win, I suspect they'll be back for more next week. Here's Bailey again. Johnston. Barnes into